Hey, welcome, it's Cassie. Today I'm going to show you how to make a fake molten lava cake. So the first thing you'll need is one of these pieces of styrofoam. I picked this up at Dollar Tree, and I don't want the edge to be quite so sharp, so I'm just going to take a nail file and just kind of round it out just a little bit just to get rid of that super sharp edge. Not too much, you just want to take the sharp part off. And then we can do the same thing at the bottom here. This is just going to make it look more realistic. Okay, and then I want to cut an opening so that we can see the molten lava part oozing out. So I'm just going to use a kitchen knife and cut into this. I'm going to round out these edges as well. And then I'm just going to kind of cut this a little more round. I don't necessarily want it to be like a V shape. For my liking, you can cut it in whatever shape you like. And then I'm just gonna make like a indentation here where I'm gonna make the lava part come out. Now let's paint this up. So for this, I'm going to mix together some apple barrel burnt umber, and then I'm also going to add some melted chocolate to it as well. Okay, so I've got this all painted up here. I didn't worry about this part because I'm going to put the molten lava part in there, and so that's not even going to show anyway, so no need to really paint that. A lot of times you'll see these sprinkled with powdered sugar, and I am going to use some baby powder and put that on top, but do not do it while the paint is wet, because all that will happen is the paint absorbs, or the baby powder absorbs the paint and it turns brown and it doesn't look right at all. So we'll add that a little bit later after this is all dry. So the next thing we need to do is mix up our molten lava mixture. So the way that we're going to do this is the same way that I made my banana custard. So if you've seen that video, it's the same process as that. I have some, this is some of my mixture here, but I'm going to go ahead and add some more to it with you. I have some spackle that I picked up at Dollar Tree a long time ago, and it's actually kind of dry, but that's okay. This will work fine for this. So I'm just going to put my spackle in here. And if your spackle is really dry like this, you might have to add a touch of water, like just some drops of water to soften it up some. But I'm going to go ahead and add the caulk too and the paint, and then we'll see what the consistency is after that. So this is just caulk that I got at Dollar Tree also. So I'm going to add some of that. So we're not going to add paint to this actually. I did for the example one that I made, but I still had to end up painting it afterwards. So we're just going to, you don't need to add any paint. and then this mixed into what I had here and the caulk, and so it's come out to be about the right consistency. So I'm not going to need to add any water to this, but if if yours is dry, you might have to just add a little bit. So again, don't worry about the color. It can just be white. This was just, I added to what I already had mixed up. So don't worry about any paint at all. So what we're going to do is, I have a piece of wax paper here. So I'm going to use that to allow this to dry on so that I can remove it later. So I'm just going to take some of my spackle and caulk mixture that I just made, and I'm going to put it right into that hole that I made. And then I'm going to set it on my wax paper and just let it run down, and I'm going to put some extra down there as well. And just kind of have it pull up, make it look realistic. And then once you have that positioned how you want it, just let that dry overnight. And even overnight, it will not be completely dry, but it'll be dry on the surface to where we'll be able to put some paint on it. So just let that dry overnight. Okay, so now my paint has dried and my spackle has dried to the touch. Now I can't remove this from the wax paper yet. It's when I press on it, it's still squishy under there. So this is dry to where I can paint it, but not dry enough to remove from the wax paper. And I let this sit overnight. So the first thing I want to do, because I want to put the baby powder on to make it look like powdered sugar sprinkled on top. So I'm not going to put any glue or anything on mine, but if you're selling this or if you're going to be moving it around a lot, you might want to use like some matte Mod Podge or something like that to hold your baby powder on. It's just going to be a very light sprinkle, and it kind of gets in those grooves of the styrofoam anyway, so that kind of holds it on. But like I said, if you're selling it, you want to make sure that it is not going to come off. And the reason I'm doing it right now is because it goes on to this molten lava part, and I can paint over it now, but if I did it after I painted it, then I would have baby powder on top of my paint. So do that before you paint. And then I'm just going to mix up the same color that I used for the cake part. And then I'm going to add some gloss Mod Podge to this to make it look realistic. So I'm doing about half Mod Podge and half paint. And then I'm just going to paint over my spackle here. If you guys love making fake food as much as I do, and you want to take your fake baking to the next level, be sure to check out the description. I'm going to have a link there. Right now it's a waiting list, but it will open on July 28th, and it's going to be a fake bake VIP membership. And we're not just going to make sweet stuff in there. It'll be like all different kinds of food, and we're just going to take it to the next level. I have the best people in my audience, so I know the group's going to be completely amazing. So there's what mine looks like so far. So I'm going to have to do a second coat on this once the first coat of paint dries. There is your fake molten lava cake. Thank you so much. I appreciate you beyond belief. I hope to see you over in my subscription group, and if not, I'll see you in the next video here. Have an awesome day.